Let's take ourselves to Spain, because there, deaths from coronavirus have fallen for the fourth day running. The Spanish Health Ministry says 637 deaths have been recorded over the past 24 hours. That's the lowest number for nearly 2 weeks. Spain is now planning to widen its coronavirus testing as well, to include people without symptoms. That's seen as a first step to easing a lockdown in the country, which has had the second highest number of deaths after Italy. Spain's health ministry said the fall in the latest figures was very encouraging.
What we are seeing is that the rate of increase from this pandemic is falling in practically all parts of the country, and this decrease is also reflected in the number of secondary infections. This is a very good indicator in epidemiological terms for us, and we will be monitoring carefully this decrease over the coming days.
Well, let's cross now to Graham Keeley, who is a journalist for The Independent, working from Madrid. Graham, thanks very much for talking to us. This is incredibly welcome news after a tragic and difficult ordeal for Spain.
Absolutely. It's been a very grim time, as you know very well. When you listen to the figures for today, of course, it means 600 people have lost their lives. But then you think about how it was just a few days ago when over 900 people had lost their lives in 24 hours. So it's very welcome news. There is cautious optimism.
I mean, it is a measure of what we've all come to in terms of our expectations, that we can even think of over 600 people dying in a day of a virus being relatively good news compared to, as you say, what was happening last week. But 13,000 deaths in total in Spain, a 3-week lockdown already, imposed until the end of the month. But as we've just been mentioning, some hopes of a glimmer at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely, and it's significant that the government is beginning to think of de-escalating the lockdown. They are going to widen the testing, probably starting with essential workers who don't show symptoms, and then widening it so that perhaps we can envisage the lockdown being relaxed, possibly by sometime into May. That seems realistic. However, I have to say that epidemiologists that I've spoken to have said, look, the government is not going to relax the lockdown until they see a significant decrease in the number of new cases, and that we haven't reached that yet, and possibly we're not near that yet.
And Graham, obviously testing, as you will be very aware, is hugely controversial here in the UK in terms of unavailability of tests for key sections of the workforce who feel that they need them, not just the frontline workers in hospitals, but in care homes, on buses, you name it. Do Spaniards now feel that their access to testing is growing to all these essential workers?
Doctors do not feel that, and the general public does not feel that. There has been a lot of controversy here about the government buying tests from China, which turned out to be defective, and not buying enough quickly enough. So no, the answer is they do not feel there's enough testing going on, and they think there should be more. The government has defended itself on that point, saying, well, look, we're doing as many as we can. We're getting Spanish firms to produce as many as they possibly can, and we're buying it more in from abroad. But still, there is the general perception that there could be more done and faster.
But it's interesting that your answer implies that there is confidence, given the targets that they're talking about for the end of April. There is confidence that they can actually do this, that they can get the chemical reagents, that they can get the private labs to step in, and that they can handle the logistics to get out across asymptomatic citizens.
Yes, indeed. It is encouraging. I think, as I say, they will concentrate on the essential workers and try and make sure that they are the people who can get back to work, and then work their way through other sections of the society, testing them, possibly to get the economy back on the road, which of course is ground to a standstill.
Graham, thank you so much.